appreciate the effort, but sometimes it's better to just leave it alone. Welcome to the Time Treadmill. I'm Ron, and these are my sweaty thoughts about Doctor Who. The Mind of Evil is noteworthy for a couple of reasons. The first, and probably most trivial, is that it's one of only 11 stories in the entire history of Doctor Who to not feature the TARDIS. Nowhere throughout the entire 6-episode run does the TARDIS appear in any way, shape, or form. That's really kind of strange. The other reason is that this is one of the stories from the Third Doctor era where all of the color recordings were junked and completely lost. So all we have are black and white episodes that were prepared for overseas venues that only broadcast in black and white at the time. A colorization process was used for the home video release, and I have to say it is hit or miss. I'd have to look it up to double check, but I would guess that this colorization was done somewhere in the mid to late 2000s, and it's really not that good. The problem I have with it is it doesn't hold the chroma key steady. I could definitely tell that a different process was used for the first episode versus the second one that I watched this morning. The first one was largely pretty good. And as I recall from doing a little quick research last night, the first episode was actually colorized more recently and with a different process. The second episode, and I believe all the later ones, are done with the older process, and the problem is it doesn't hold the chroma key steady. As you're watching it, particularly the flesh tones tend to kind of, I don't know how to describe it except to say they pulse. So characters will go from having very bright red glowy cheeks to having almost black and white cheeks, and it kind of fades in and out throughout a scene. It's really strange and distracting and definitely detracts from the story. There was one particular scene where the Brigadier was in the background, and it seemed like the other two characters who were the main focus of the shot, they had that sort of throbbing tinting issue, while in the background the Brigadier was almost black and white the entire scene. It was just very strange and distracting, and I didn't care for it. And the story itself is kind of oddball as well. First of all, the first episode is one of the few times in classic Doctor Who I can think of where there are A and B plots happening on parallel tracks that never intersect. They do ultimately start to come together in the second episode, but in the first episode there's one entire set of scenes that are set at a prison where instead of employing capital punishment on murderers and such, they use this mind process that supposedly sucks all of the evil tendencies out of the brain and turns the person into a normal functioning member of society. It's, it's kind of an Alfred Bester Stars My Destination sort of thing. And then there's a B plot back in London where UNIT is providing security for a world peace conference, while at the same time some kind of nuclear missile is being transported to be disposed of. It's all kind of muddled together. And the two stories do not intersect at all in the first episode, until it finally turns out in the second episode that the Master is pulling the strings on everything, and he's evil, and all of that. So anyway, just kind of a weird story today, and it's just not really gelling for me. I don't remember a whole lot of this one from the last time I watched it, and it definitely doesn't stand out as one that I particularly enjoyed the first time around. And I've got another 2 days of this. Hopefully it gets better. We'll see. Until then, stay home, stay safe, be kind, be patient, and I will see you tomorrow.